Gender, race, class, and sexuality. Are they related? Well, in simple terms, yes, they are. And there's a term to describe the relation within each other, and that is intersectionality, which is the topic of my presentation today. So, intersectionality is a term that many researchers use to describe the interconnected nature of social systems. And it's an important term to be aware of because it is such a reoccurring thing that happens today in society. So, what is it? What is intersectionality? Well, according to the Oxford Dictionary, it is the interconnected nature of social categorizations such as race, class, and gender as they apply to a given individual or group regarded as creating overlapping and independent systems of discrimination and disadvantage. I know it's a mouthful. And why should you care? Because it's a big word, it has a lot of meanings to it. So you have to care because it is relevant to all of you, to every single one of you. It's happening all around us, and the very nature of the term involves you and everybody around you. So for this topic, I'm speaking from experience because it is a topic that is often discussed in my field of study, which is social work. And the research I conducted for this term, I researched many credible journal articles. So intersectionality is a way to understand the nature of discrimination based on social categories, which are race, class, and gender. And they're all interconnected as a system of what you'll learn is a system of disadvantage. So the very first point I would like to make today is that intersectionality is about inequality, oppression, and discrimination. That's the very underlying factor to it. And sexism and racism is a very important part of that because that was the beginning of the term was because of sexism and racism. And for example, and to be specific, the sexism and racism of Black women. So a good example to describe what this means is that according to Kimberly Crenshaw, let's say a company needs men for a very hefty, manly job, and they hire both Black men and white men. But for the more submissive job, they only hire white women and not Black women. Because men are considered the dominant sex, according to the oppressors, the race doesn't matter. But when there's somebody that is the minority sex and the minority race, then there's discrimination that happens. So the second point I would like to make is the importance of the origin of the term. So, like in the previous slide, I mentioned a woman named Kimberly Crenshaw, which gave a very compelling example of this term. And she was the creator of the term. So she was doing research for Black women, discrimination and oppression in the US, and she developed the term from that. And she developed it to address the needs of Black women, given the discrimination that they faced and do face today. And a good quote that she uses is that intersectionality is a way of thinking about identity and its relationship to power, because the very underlying factor of intersectionality is discrimination, oppression, and inequality. And the last point that is very important that I like him to make is that intersectionality is a unity. It's the connection between these social institutions, and That's the very nature of the term, is based on the connection between social institutions, whether it's class, gender, race, sexuality, it's all interconnected together. So to conclude this presentation, I would like to reiterate just a few things. So intersectionality is an important term as it is a recurring topic in today's society, and the given nature of the term helped us understand the issues of discrimination in our society. And if there's one thing to remember today, it's that it's not just one thing. It's a complex term. However, it's important to remember that the true meaning lies beneath the issues of oppression and discrimination within minority groups. That's the main thing that you need to remember. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.